Hello, Professor Diamond. It's my great pleasure to have you through a video conference. It's one of the most important parts of this global summit. And as you may know, Professor Diamond, you are very popular in Seoul, in Korea, because many Korean readers have read your books, Guns, Germs, and Steel.
I am a fan of Korea. So I'm Jared Diamond. I'm a geographer. I teach at the University of California here in Los Angeles. I'm now speaking from the study of my wife in our house near my university, about 2 kilometers away.
What do you think about this? I mean, how would you describe the impact of COVID-19 on humanity from the perspective of your crisis theory and transition?
Such as the Black Death, such as smallpox and measles. In fact, it's a relatively mild disease. COVID kills only maybe 2% of its victims, whereas smallpox and plague killed 50% of their victims, and AIDS kills 100%. So one might begin by saying COVID is an old type of disease, there's nothing new. But there are 2 things new about COVID. At the end of World War I, made possible by fast steamships. Now, this ordinary disease, COVID, is spreading around the world not by fast steamships, but by jet planes. And so that's the diseases of the past, like smallpox. When Europeans brought smallpox to the New World, Europeans had experience of smallpox. They had protection, they had immunity, genetic immunity, antibodies, whereas Native Americans had none. But in the case of COVID, COVID is a new disease. Nobody has immunity to COVID. Every people in the world is susceptible to COVID. That's something new.
The various cutting-edge technologies also in the process of responding to COVID-19. When tracking the movements of confirmed cases, we analyze the information like credit transactions, credit card transactions, and mobile phone records. How do you evaluate the different efforts and measures taken by each different countries?
In the United States, our response was not immediate. We lost weeks, we lost maybe a month in the estimate in how to respond quickly, in the advantages of an excellent healthcare system, in your free hospitals, and in your willingness to accept the direction from good ideas on the part of your leaders.
Green New Deal in earnest, turning Seoul more green. We will turn our urban infrastructure green by making a large financial investment in buildings, transportations, and waste management to become a zero-carbon city by 2050. So we are truly ready to transform ourselves from environmental villain to a green hero. So how do you expect the post-corona transportation of civilization in Korea and in the world?
Yes, there are new emerging diseases of which COVID is one, but there are old diseases which are spreading through the world to areas where they were not before as a result of climate change. In particular, tropical diseases. There are going to be more germs and more epidemics. And in answer to your second question, what can we do? We can be prepared. As for the spread of more germs, new germs arise in a number of ways. New diseases of humans arise especially from diseases of animals.
We, the citizens, had planted around 25 million trees within 8 years. So our final goal is to plant the trees, amounting 30 million trees in Seoul. We need to secure a tight safety net for the sake of human security in a society where unstable employment still remains, and there is high chance for the economy to shut down due to infectious disease at any time. So what is your reply and response to this to prevent more serious inequality in times of global, and pandemics?
Started out with antibodies to COVID. Nevertheless, some Americans are dying at higher rates than are other Americans. The highest mortality rates in the United States are among Native Americans and among African Americans, and they're lower among European Americans. Why? It's because of existing health problems when rich Americans themselves feel endangered. That is happening now. The other side to inequality is inequality around the world, poorer countries and richer countries, and we can talk more about that. But let me stop now.
Which living with virus without shutting down, our everyday life and economy. So I expect the Seoul's model will attract attention continuously because we are for the first time in the world continuing, our daily life while controlling, an infectious disease at the same time. In such a post-coronavirus world, how should cities change? In particular, how should metropolis like Seoul make a transition in order to better respond to epidemics?
Competition between China and the United States. I hope that the world will learn that other global problems also have to be solved at a global level. You talked about climate change. Climate change, if you solve the problem of climate change in Korea by reducing the output of greenhouse gases in Korea, the atmosphere in Korea is mixed with the atmosphere with the whole world. History, achieve a high economic performance in a short time, and serve as a model to the world for how to deal with COVID, and serve as a model to the world in so many other respects. I love your country. I shall return whenever invited.
The whole world is on the same boat with COVID-19. So now we have to live with virus. So I think that in this society, the role of great global scholars like you is more important than ever in the future. So please continue to give us a lot of guidance and advice.
Teach world geography to my students at UCLA. I write up on the board Hangul letters, but in my class I have Korean students, and my Korean students come to the board and correct my not quite exact writing of Hangul letters. I look forward to returning to Korea with great pleasure.